All
The method I would work on is the value of AutoNoFault and the role that you guys play in AutoNoFault and the role you can play in delivering services in an efficient manner and how you impact costs, right? Didn't you list
Yep.
all those?
Yeah, we
Yep.
have research showing how we are the only service provider that actually decreases readmissions and decreases costs.
So available because right now all providers are being painted as, do not want any reforms, gouging the system, that sort of thing. So the value of AutoNoFault to the state, to those that are catastrophically injured, the value and the role you play in the system of care, and then I think that you need to be prepared to say that to keep our system, that your profession is willing to look at a number of reforms that would reduce litigation, that would drive down costs within the system. And so, I don't know if you guys taken a formal position on any sort of fee schedules?
No, we haven't.
Okay, well, it's probably going to be asked of you almost by everyone, friendly and not friendly. And so, CPAM put forward a fee schedule.
Okay, so we'll take a look at that too before we get our talking points put together.
Even if you don't agree with the fee schedule that we proposed, which was 185% workers' comp, with a bunch of, with a COLA and those sorts of things, and if it's not within the workers' comp codes, it would go back as reasonable charges. But I think this is my professional hat speaking, that if you get into any of these discussions with some of these legislators that are, a little bit more engaged in the issue, and you guys do not at least accept the premise that we need to reduce some costs, which might include some sort of fee schedule or something, I think you're not going to have much credibility in the discussion.
Okay. Good to know.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I respect that.
I mean, if it was my group that was coming in, again, I would try to show that the value of AutoNoFault in the system. Some might say to you, what are your OTs doing in other states for catastrophically injured? What do all the other 49 states do? Well, the other 49 states don't provide the same level of care. So you do end up people do end up filing medical bankruptcy and getting pushed onto Medicaid. And they end up with being in nursing homes, or when they're young, they end up sitting at home with virtually no additional therapies. And they don't get the kind of care that we decided that we want in Michigan. I would think that you would want every member to be consistent with saying, we support AutoNoFault. We believe that we should keep AutoNoFault. We believe that reforms are necessary to drive down the costs, to improve efficiencies, to work with professionals like OTs that can actually help drive down that cost in the system, and that we will work to, make those changes. So, the big targets, the repeal, going back to a tort system. So, I don't know what your thoughts are about if you went back to a tort system.
And the tort system, could you explain that exactly? what that is? I don't know.
So before AutoNoFault, if you got injured, you had to sue the at-fault driver.
Okay.
And that did a lot of things. One is that you know, often you didn't get medical care until you went through your lawsuit.
Wow.
2, you had to prove fault. 3, it clogged up the courts. So, and so really, if you went back to the tort system, probably most of the post-acute care is gone.
Huge impact on people's ability to take care of themselves and reintegrate into society.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think I would keep my message simple. I think it's a great way to introduce the value of OTs. Because probably a lot of policymakers and staff don't quite know how you fit into the scheme of treatment. So I would spend a few minutes with that. Yeah, I just think that if you shrug your shoulders and don't have really any strong comment on any cost containment issues, you're going to be like everybody else in this town that says, you know, I'm supportive of reforms, but not if it hits my pocketbook.
Yeah.
Again, kind of a higher level discussion. This is what we do. This is when we get a case. This is how we follow through. And you got to do all that fairly quickly, right? I mean,
Yeah.
spans are pretty small, short.
So you think we should tell them exactly how we fit into it, and then discuss, cost containment and that sort of thing, and the research behind how we actually decrease costs and as far as attendant care and basically attendant care over the long run, and also rehospitalization costs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I would just I would just be willing to have your members say, even if they don't want to support and embrace fair and affordable package, if you're not real familiar with it, just say that, you support balanced reform that would include cost containment, that would, we want to make sure we can lower premiums without diminishing the overall benefit. And we're a cost saver in the system. And here's how. Here's who we are.
Okay. And here's the research to back up what we're saying.